Welcome to the Alchemy of Desire meditation practice part 2. If you haven't done part 1, go ahead and pause this audio here and go ahead and listen to and do the practice of the Alchemy of Desire part 1, which is critical to do before you jump into this particular practice. But assuming that you've done that practice where we explored this idea that all desires are meant to be felt, but not all desires are meant to be fulfilled. Now, how do we know that this is true? How do we know that all desires are meant to be felt, but not meant to be fulfilled? Well, we can just look at our own life, right? We all feel desire, whether it's the desire to eat or the desire to go to a concert to see your favorite band, or the desire to find the love of your life, or the desire to land a stable job. Every desire that arises within us that we're consciously aware of is first felt. Just notice how that's true in your direct experience. And it's this very desire that motivates your actions and my actions. To make breakfast because you're hungry, or to get on a dating app in hopes of finding the love of your life. Right? Now, we've all had the experience that not all of our desires are fulfilled. So maybe you wanted to land that really great job that had that super great salary and all those great benefits, but you didn't land it. Or maybe you were in love with that certain someone, but that love was ultimately unrequited. So we all know that we feel desires, but that not all of our desires actually get fulfilled, no matter what we do. And as I mentioned in part 1, this is because there are innumerable unseen causes and conditions at play that actually determine what manifests in our life that are completely out of our control. So the previous practice that we did in part 1 was simply to acknowledge this truth, that all desires are meant to be felt, but not all desires are meant to be fulfilled. And to feel our desire as a direct experience without any story around it. So now that we've done that, we're ready for the next step of this exploration of desire. Most people define desire as something that they want. And we feel excited about this desire or hopeful about this desire, right? A desire, it's like what I really, really long for, what I really, really want. But consider the idea that feelings like anger and frustration and disappointment are also forms of desire. That in fact, they're the concealment of desire. So take a moment right now, and if you need to pause the audio, you can do that. Take a moment to think of something that you feel angry or frustrated or disappointed about right now, or that you did in the past. And you'll notice that upon close examination, that your anger or your frustration or your disappointment was the result of a thwarted desire. You had a desire for something to happen or to be acquired. You didn't get that thing, and at first there may have been a subtle disappointment. But then over time, if you continued to try but failed in getting what you wanted, it eventually led to anger or some version of anger, frustration, disappointment, depression, jealousy, envy, hatred, all of these things. So the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verses 63 and 64 has a very, very important teaching for us. It says, brooding on the sense objects causes attachments to them. Attachment breeds craving. Craving breeds anger. Anger breeds delusion. Delusion breeds loss of memory of the self. Loss of memory causes decay of the discriminating faculty. And from decay, discrimination, annihilation of spiritual life follows. So just to parse this down really simply, what the Bhagavad Gita is telling us is something really important. It's telling us that this anger from not getting what it is that we wanted, from having a thwarted desire, breeds delusion. That delusion breeds loss of memory of your true self, forgetting who you really are. And this forgetting of who you really are leads to a lack of discrimination. In other words, an inability to be crystal clear and discerning in your actions. Now, from the view of Sankhya philosophy or classical yoga, the solution is to not desire anything, to be completely detached, to transcend desire. That's classical yoga. The Tantric view is exactly the opposite. Instead of detaching ourselves from desire, we go fully into the desire. We allow ourselves to fully feel it. All right, so before we begin this practice, which is very similar to the practice that we did last time, however, this time you're going to bring to mind a thwarted desire, something that you really wanted, but you didn't get. So you felt angry or frustrated or disappointed or depressed, or one of those feelings, jealousy, envy, any of those. So if you need to pause the audio here to just recall a time, and it can be a time now, it can be something that's happening right now, or it could be something in the past. The idea is to have in mind this particular thwarted desire. So let's begin. Just getting settled and closing your eyes. And taking a couple of long, slow breaths. Noticing where your breath goes as you breathe in and where it goes as you breathe out. becoming aware of all the ways in which your breath is like a bridge between your outer world and your inner world. And with each breath, drawing a little more closely into your inner world. Into that place where everything that you've ever known or sensed or felt or imagined or dreamed or desired or experienced is held in timeless awareness. And as you come into this place, allowing all of your inner senses to begin to open, your inner sense of seeing and hearing and smelling and touching and tasting, but especially allowing your deepest intuitive knowing to begin to open quite widely. And just knowing that you're here to explore, to examine a thwarted desire, a concealed desire. So just bringing to mind a time when you really longed for something and you didn't get it. A time when you had a thwarted desire. And because you had a thwarted desire, it eventually festered from maybe a subtle disappointment to a stronger feeling of frustration or disappointment or anger or jealousy or despair. So now imagining that you can trace this feeling of anger or disappointment or whatever it is back to the original unfulfilled desire. What was the original unfulfilled desire? Now, tracing even deeper underneath that unfulfilled desire was a need. For instance, if your desire was to land that dream job, the need may have been for a sense of stability or a need for purpose. If the unfulfilled desire was a relationship, but that relationship didn't work out, the unfulfilled need underneath that may have been the need for love. So just taking the next few moments to trace back to the unfulfilled desire and the need underneath that unfulfilled desire. Some examples of needs may have been the need for love or the desire for love, the need or desire for safety, the need or desire for connection and belonging, the need or desire for autonomy, the need or desire for understanding or empathy, the need or desire for creativity, or the need or the desire for meaning and purpose. Allowing yourself to feel this deeper underlying desire or need. That desire for love or safety or autonomy or creativity or meaning. Feel into that. And allow it to arise within you as a sensation, a felt sense. Noticing where it's located in the body. And the particular quality, of sensations that this desire has. And if any thoughts or ideas or storylines arise around this desire, just allowing them to be there, but not engaging with them. And coming back into the direct experience, the sensation of this desire in the body. And beginning to move closer towards the sensation than you might normally allow yourself to. Allowing your breath to take you directly into the felt sense, the sensation, the bodily sensation, feeling it intensify, honoring its fullest expression as a somatic experience. feeling the magic and the intensity, allowing it to be fully what it is. Staying with the tangible, felt sense in the body. Now, allowing the sensation of this desire to amplify until it completely consumes you. Experiencing every part of your being permeated with the sensation of this desire. You are no longer separate from this desire. You are this desire. You are the very vibrating source of this desire. The source from which this desire is created and within which it's experienced. Now, once the desire has been fully felt and expressed, fully lived as an aspect of your own being, you will notice that it starts to fade away. The sensation will soften. The urgency will diminish. Because the desire has expressed itself in its fullest form, and now naturally it begins to subside like a wave returning to the ocean. Simply allowing it to naturally fade away. And as the sensations of this desire continue to subside, you may experience it as a gentle echo, a whisper, gradually becoming softer and softer, until it disappears entirely. Into nothingness. Into the void. And what remains now is not a lifeless pit of nothingness, but rather a serene, open emptiness. And this serene, open emptiness is full of timeless awareness. It's empty of that particular desire, but it is full of timeless awareness. And in allowing this thwarted desire to be fully felt as an expression in you, as you, and through you, you have fulfilled it. This is the inner alchemy that transforms and liberates all desire, including thwarted desires. Allowing every thwarted desire to be fully felt as an embodied experience and transformed through this inner alchemy. How might this shift your experience? How might it influence the energy that you bring into your interactions, not only with yourself, but with everyone you encounter in your life? So just taking a moment now to sit with these inquiries as you emerge from this practice and carry this newfound awareness with you out into your life.